right, welcome to another edition of Trucker Tools Talks, your place for business tips and updates from folks from across the trucking industry. Today we're joined by Mr. Larry Cothran.
What's going on? It's your boy Larry. Everybody calls me El Boogie. You know I'm blessing the Lord, highly favored, excited about Jesus, excited about the word of God. My cup is running over and I still want some more. How about you? What's going on, Russell?
Not bad, man. I'm doing good. Thanks for your time today, man. I appreciate you jumping on with us.
Yeah, man, it's a plum pleasing pleasure.
I love that phrase, plum pleasing pleasure, man. It puts a smile on your face, right?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Larry, I'm glad we got some time to connect today. We get questions from across the industry.
Yeah.
And we like to pick the people's brains that are in it, doing it, living it, right?
Yeah, right.
They're with it. So, say I'm currently a company driver, considering becoming an owner operator. What are the 5 key questions I should be asking myself in terms of how to set up my business? Minimize the risk and put me on a good path to success.
Okay, man, that's a great question. A lot of times when people come into the industry, the number one thing they don't do is ask enough questions. So first thing is this right here. What I would say is, in order for you to run freight, guess what? You got to have freight. So go ahead and secure the freight first, okay? See what you can do to get that freight first. Even before you even if you're a company driver, there's ways right now, and we'll talk about this later. There's ways right now that you can go ahead, start securing freight, okay? Because the market is booming right now and everybody can put their hand in it and get a piece of the pie, okay? That's number one. Number 2 is make sure that you have some capital, okay? Or a line of credit. You wanna make sure that you have some capital or a line of credit, because guess what? It's not if your truck breaks down, it's when it breaks down, okay? And your truck, it will break down at some point. It may break down at 350, it may break down at 600,000. It may break down at $1 million, but it's gonna break down, and you need to make sure that you have access to the capital that's right there before you. Okay. Number 3 is when your truck breaks down. Guess what? Or when you need to have maintenance and different things like that for your truck. Guess what you need? You need a dedicated mechanic. Okay. Everybody needs a dedicated mechanic, because guess what? You need somebody to do your PMs. You need somebody to look over your stuff. Even if you're buying a new truck, a used truck, you need to find somebody that can help you work on your truck, so that you're not always taking your truck to the Freightliner dealership or the Kenworth dealership. It just depends on if it's new or used, but you don't want to always take your truck there and spend a lot of money on something, because they're going to charge you for the time, even if they don't spend all that time on your truck. So if that job calls for 5 hours of labor, they got to charge you the 5 hours of labor, even if it took 2 hours to put the thing on, And so that's number 3. Number four is one of the things that I always share with people, and this is my go-to for everything: relationships. Go ahead right now, start building those relationships. I don't care if you're in the trucking industry, in the transportation industry. I don't care what industry you're in. If you think right now that you're wanting to drive trucks, if you think you're wanting to become an owner operator, if you think you're wanting to plant gardens, I don't care what it is. You need to go find some relationships and build some relationships. Okay.
So let me ask you a follow-up question on that. Who am I building relationships with?
You're building relationships with the traffic managers, the transportation managers. You're building relationships with HR. Okay, people who mean something. Even the people who don't have that much significance in a certain area, you're building relationships with them too. Even when you go to the dock, okay, when you pull up to the dock and you got somebody who's pulling the freight off of your truck, that person right there may not. They probably is not the one who's making the decisions. But guess what? They know who's making the decision. They know who you can go talk to, because they're going to say, hey, you need to go talk to Tim in the front office. You need to go talk to Karen over here in the front office. You need to go talk to Jessica, or, just different people. You need to go talk to these people right here. In building those relationships right there with those people, guess what? When something is available, even if there's a disconnect between the shipper receiver, between the shipper and the front office, where there's a disconnect, guess what? You got them on speed dial. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? They can let you know, hey, look, you got this coming. We got this right here coming up. Man, we're overbooked. Like we got certain things. Like I just, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Iowa. Okay. Now, no one knows this yet. Okay. The receiver don't know this yet. Only the person that's in the front office who just loaded the truck told me this. Okay. When he told me this piece of information, that set me up for success right there, because I said, you know what, man, like the HAZMAT industry is booming right now. Okay. HAZMAT ain't going nowhere. Okay. This guy told me, man, we're getting ready to put a second door in this building right here. They got 2 doors. They're getting ready to put and one of them is unusable. Okay. They're getting ready to put a second door in there, which means they got more freight than they can handle right now. Okay. Now, who's going to pick that freight up? Well, you're looking at him right now. It's your boy. You see what I'm saying? Who's going to pick the freight up? Okay. And even if I can't pick the freight up, guess what? I got a whole network of people, a whole network of drivers that I can say, hey, look, man. Hey, Tim, where you at? Hey, Ronnie, where you at?
Yeah, give
hey, Sarah, where you at? Yeah.
Right.
Get this guy right here a call, because guess what? If you're ever in this area right here, or if you want to run this lane from Iowa to Chicago, you can run this lane from Iowa to Chicago 5 days a week.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And the load pays enough money to where you can go there, come back. It's not that many miles.
Oh, it's powerful, man.
Yeah. And so that's the next thing right there, having knowledge of the industry. A lot of people want to step into the industry, and once you step into the industry, we're in a time right now where everybody wants to get their own thing. Nothing is wrong with having your own thing, but you got to crawl before you walk. You got to get the knowledge of the industry, because if you come into the industry and you don't have the knowledge of the industry, what's going to happen is somebody going to end up, slapping you across the head, taking your money. You're gonna be cheated out of a lot of money, or you're not gonna be able to get some
hard lessons. Learn some hard
lessons. And so I always tell people, why learn the hard lessons the hard way? You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go out here and lose everything you have just because you don't know. Find you a mentor. Find you a coach. Find you someone who's knowledgeable about the industry, who can push you along the way. Somebody like me. And that's what I do. That's my specialty. I love to teach people. So that's what I love to do. So get that knowledge, because I always tell people, get the knowledge and apply that knowledge. And once you apply that knowledge, you won't be up the creek without a paddle. You won't be swimming in the dark,
Yeah. It's good to have people like you in the industry around it too, that will mentor people and will help them and guide them.
Yes, right. And I don't even know everything. I tell people all the time, because the industry is growing so much. I don't know everything, but guess what? I got a team of people that knows a lot, and I can refer you to this person. I can refer you to this person right here. I got people that I can refer you to for your compliance. I got people that I can refer you to for international. I got people that I can refer you to for HAZMAT. If you want to learn about any of this stuff, I got people that I can refer you to if you need a trailer, if you want to get your company set up, if you need somebody for taxes, if you need somebody for, whatever it may be. I got somebody right there on call that I can say, here's a number right here.
Old mentality. I got a guy for it, right?
Yeah, I got a guy for it.
But I got a guy.
Yeah.
So, you hit on a key thing. There was, you talked about, talking to people, developing those relationships, right?
Yeah.
So say, as an owner-operator, how do you market yourself,
Yeah. So marketing yourself is basically talking. You got to talk to people. You got to let people know what you do and where you run. What type of equipment do you run? You got to let people know that. Of course, you have the cards or whatever. But it's different ways now that you can market yourself. I've gotten a lot of calls and different things just off of LinkedIn or just off of Instagram.
Okay. Social media.
Yeah, social media. Social media is powerful. When people see you and they say, "Hey, man, I got a load right here. I got somebody that just broke down. I see that you drive. Can you come pick this up?" No, I'm not in the area right now. But guess what? Let's go back to it. I got a guy. I'm not in the area right now. I'm not in Texas. I'm not in Washington State. But let me call around and see who's in that area, who's in my network. And guess what? It may be somebody that you can use. And that has happened several times, And I've done that with other people as well. And people have done that with me. So just, you got to talk.
I think that, as a child, I was driving next to the big rigs down the road and trying to get them to honk their horn and stuff. You don't realize how big of a network the trucking industry is, how big of a family it actually is. I always tell people, the longer you stay in this industry, the smaller the pool gets.
Exactly. And I always tell people like this right here. Like, I made a TikTok video about this, and I said, man, when I first started out driving, like, everybody was saying, man, don't get in the trucking industry. They don't make money. They don't do this. They don't do that. Well, I want to know why they ain't making no money. And why you still in it? Why you still driving trucks if they ain't making no money? Why are you pulling the HAZMAT, and why are you pulling these oversized loads if they ain't making no money? How are you home every day? How are you home every week if they ain't making no money? Yeah. And why you still in it? So it's money to be made out here, and you gotta just position yourself, market yourself. And I think just the basic marketing principle for this right here, for your business, is the number one, the oldest, I guess, way of marketing, which is word of mouth. Word of mouth will get you out there, and then secondly, having a trusted source who can vouch for you, because I always tell people, hey, have somebody introduce you. Even Jesus had John the Baptist to introduce him to the, so it's always somebody who introduces somebody to their network, or, relationships make stuff go around. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
That actually brings me to my follow-up question here. Good question is how can I get listed as a qualified carrier in a broker's network?
Okay. All right. Well, one of the things I always say, make sure you'll never be able to, if your CSA score is bad, if your safety score is bad, you'll never be able to get that business. Okay. If you haven't been in business for a certain amount of time, like people say, man, I can go out here right now, I can get my authority. It becomes active in like 21 days, however long it becomes active. However long it takes to become active, I get my authority, now it's active. Now I can go run loads, and these are the carriers right here that will take you with just startup, with you just coming in the game. Yeah, they'll take you, but you ain't making no big bucks. You ain't making nothing that's outlandish. And so you gotta have that time. You gotta have 3 months, 6 months. Some people won't take you until 6 months. Some people. Usually it's the minimum of 3 months before they'll even take you. And so you need to make sure that when you go out here in the market, that you make yourself attractive by having a great CSA score, deliver on time. Your reputation speaks for you. It will precede you, because these people can look you up and see, okay, let me see how they credit this. Let me see if they're gonna, if they have on-time deliveries. Let me see if they are they safe? Are they speeding? What are they doing?
Right.
Because these people, they got trackers on these trailers, on these loads, and different things like that. So if you don't position yourself correctly, what'll end up happening is you won't be able to, put yourself in there like you need to be able to become a qualified carrier for these brokers.
Yep, and it speaks back to one of your 5 keys, man. That knowledge.
The knowledge.
A lot of knowledge you just laid out right there that somebody might not know getting into the industry or getting into their own truck.
Yeah, because you can first get out there. Once you get out there, you can say, hey, look, man, I don't care if you, let me tell you something. I don't care if you play in the NBA or the NFL. If you want to end up losing money, try going out there and try, you know what, man, I'm gonna just jump out there and get 5 trucks and get 10 trailers. I'm gonna get 5 trucks, I'm gonna get 10 trailers just to back up. Well, if you don't have the knowledge, you're gonna jump out there and you're gonna lose a lot of money, and your insurance is gonna be through the roof. Okay, if you don't have nobody who can talk to you, and actually, I actually left off one thing. If I can go back to that right there, if you don't have a plan, before you get into the business, you need to make sure that you have a plan. Okay, you need to make sure that you're talking to somebody. Now, I have a lot of people. This is what happens right here. I have a lot of people that call me. They say, "Hey, man, I just bought a truck. I just got my trailer. I need to find some freight. Where can I go?" Okay, man. What are you hauling? Well, I'm hauling anything. Okay, did you tell the insurance company that? Yeah, man. No wonder you paying $3,000 a month for your insurance for one truck. No wonder you're such a liability, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't talk to an insurance carrier, and I always tell people, don't go around calling all these, 10 different insurance carriers trying to figure out, oh man, let me see if I can get the right price. No, guess what? I know a guy. Holla at your boy, And so, man, making sure you have that knowledge, you'll end up losing a lot of money in the industry just trying to go out and go big. I tell people to grow slow, and once you grow, guess what? You got to have a long-term plan. And if you in that long-term plan, you're going to be making money because trucking is not going anywhere. And here's an old side piece joke right here that this older guy told me at the truck stop. He said, "Hey man, how do you become a multi-millionaire in trucking?" And I said, "How you become a multi-millionaire in trucking?" He said, "You got to be a billionaire first." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I got it." So he's talking about, yeah, because you lose so much money. And yeah, that is true. You will lose a lot of money in trucking if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have the connections, if you don't have those relationships, and if you don't have a mentor or a coach. Even the greatest people in the world have coaches. Okay, yeah. Even these multimillionaires, billionaires, they have coaches. They have somebody who can tell them something about something in whatever area of life that they're in. Okay.
But you talk about sports. I mean, Michael Jordan had a coach.
Yep.
So they taught him how to do it. He had his own drive and hustle.
Yeah.
It came from within, but he had somebody taught him how to play the game.
Yeah, you got to invest into yourself, man. I heard something. My daughter plays basketball, and she's actually pretty good, But she was doing a project one time. I think it was last year, and she said that LeBron James spends over $1 million just on his body. Okay, he invests in himself, and a lot of people, what they don't want to do is invest into themselves. You have to invest into a coach. You got to invest into a mentor. You got to invest into more knowledge. Going to a trucking conference, meeting people. Like I was at a trucking conference last week, couple of weeks ago. Man, I met so many people there at that conference right there that will extend my network. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all these people, most of the people that was there own something. You see what I'm saying? They got brokerages. They dispatchers. Man,
they're there for a reason.
They're there. You got to put yourself in the place to where you can be marketable. You got to go to the networking events. You got to, if you want to be in the game, go to the game. You can't be outside talking about, man, I want to get in there and play. Man, pay the ticket, go into the game, and at least try to sit in the nosebleed. And when you can get better, come down and sit on the floor. And then when you get better, get on the sideline. And then when you get better, you can go ahead and you can get in the game. Coach gonna be like, man, we need somebody to come up and play. Guess what? You there.
Yeah, ready. All right. So let's jump over to technology. What do I need in the way of technology to be successful in operating my own truck? In terms of finding and booking loads, providing updated visibility information to my clients as I'm moving the loads.
Okay. Well, you got several load boards out there that you can use. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you haven't downloaded Trucker Tools, the Trucker Tools app right now, if you haven't downloaded that, you're missing out. You're missing out on a lot of money. Okay, you need these apps. As a matter of fact, while we're covering that, I'm glad you asked that question right there because I tell people about a lot of apps, but man, it seemed like Trucker Tools done came up with the technology and they got everything in one app. You know what I'm saying? Like you can find out, okay, where do I need to get my ILTA? Even if you got a speeding ticket, man, like if you got a speeding ticket or whatever, following 2 o'clock, if you need a lawyer, if you need somebody to represent you in court, they got the access to it right there. Yep. If you're trying to figure out, man, how can I'm weighing 11,000 pounds on my steers, I'm 32,500 on my drives, on 29,000 even on my tandems. How do I need to shift this thing so it'll be evenly, so I'm riding evenly or whatever? You can do that with the Trucker Tools app. It's simple, So having that technology, having a smartphone, your smartphone is gonna be your best friend. Okay, from this smartphone right here, you can book loads. Okay, you can talk to the carriers. They can even track you now. They don't need to have nothing on the trailer. They can track you. They know where you at by your phone.
Right.
They say, okay, look, we know Larry is in Minnesota and he's traveling 60 miles an hour going down the highway. Okay, so having that technology, man, is very important. And if you're still stuck on the flip phone, you know, I know a lot of older people, they just stuck on flip phones, man. Like, but everything that you need to do is right here. Even like when you're trying to look for a place to park or whatever, you're trying to find somewhere to park, man, you don't have to download another app. It has everything for you right there. You can find out where you need to park at right here. You see what I'm saying? You can find out what's available right here. And so, man, that technology is awesome, man.
I appreciate that. We think so too.
Yeah. and it seems like it grows more and more like every week. It seems like more and more has been added, man. It's a force to be reckoned with. And if you haven't downloaded the Trucker Tools app, go ahead and download that Trucker Tools app right now, and you're gonna see all the benefits that you can get from just downloading that Trucker Tools app.
Yeah, hopefully it helps you become a force to be reckoned with, right?
Yeah, man, it is. I'm already a force to be reckoned with. I'm not trying to brag or boast, but you know, when you got that connection, when I'm connected to Russell Bennett, you know, I know I'm a force already. You know?
I just want to take a brief moment. If you have any questions or want to join in on our conversation, use the comment sections below, and we'll make sure to answer them. So, Larry, is the truckload general freight market the most lucrative, or should I be looking at something else? Should I be looking at flatbed or reefer? Should we go into open deck market? Like,
okay, well, I'm glad you asked that question. That is a great question right there. Right now, the truck market is booming. Okay, it's booming out of control right now. There's money coming in from the left, the right, the north, the south, the east, and the west. It don't matter. I don't care if you got a pickup truck. You can be doing something, you know. But I always usually tell people the general rule of thumb for truck drivers is this right here. When, like right now, van division is popping. Okay, van is popping. Plus, it's summertime right now. Okay, so freight is always going to be up in the summertime. So down on the bottom of the totem pole is going to be the van division. Okay, after you have the van division, it's different things that can go into the van division, or different things that can be added on. Let's say like you adding on a ramp on the back. I mean, a lift gate on the back of your trailer. Okay, if you're doing that, that's an added bonus, which is going to add more money to your revenue. Okay, then also if you take it up from there, let's say HAZMAT. HAZMAT is going to pay more. Well, it should pay more, and if it's not paying more, you need to be asking some questions. Okay, anything that costs you to have to that's going to cost you more work, is going to cause you more risk. Those are, and it's going to be more specialized. Those are the things right there that's going to pay you more money. Okay, so the things that you got to have those endorsements for, having doubles, triples, tanker, twit card, you know, all this stuff. Now, side note to this right here, I always tell people, when you get your CDL license, make sure you get everything on your CDL license, even if you're not going to use it, because it's going to make you available. And some of the things that you think that are going to be so hazardous are not even that hazardous. You know, like you may be carrying it may be flammable, and it may be in a jug, but it may be just perfume or something, you know, just in bulk. You know, that's hazardous, you know, because it's flammable. Okay, so, but, you know, going from the van and then the different specialized things that you have in the van, like having a lift gate or maybe having HAZMAT in the van. Okay, then after that, I'll say, okay, tankers. Now this is just general stuff. Now I know we got low board, dump boards, low bellies or whatever. So you got the open bed trailers. And then after that, you got the flatbeds, and then step decks, the Conestogas, and then you got the over-dimensional stuff, you know, the RGNs, you know, then you got the bumpers and the stingers and different things like that. So, you know, if you haul stuff with bumpers and stingers on it with an open deck, you got to be making some money, because that trailer, it costs you. Okay, so the more specialized, and the rule of thumb is this right here. So remember this: the more specialized it is, the more money you're supposed to be making. Okay, so if you go out here and you're pulling a step deck Conestoga and you still making $700 a week, you need to look at somebody and figure out what's going on. Okay, if you're out here and you're pulling something with a bumper and a stinger, you're making $1,000, you're making $1,500 a week off of pulling a bumper and a stinger, or a Jeep if you're out here and you making $1,500, even $2,000, you need to find out who's paying you and what's going on, because you're supposed to be making way more money than that. Okay.
Well, knowledge from Larry for you.
Yeah. So that's why I was telling you, man, hit me up. I was on the phone, and let me tell you what, this is real true story. I was on the phone one time, so I was on YouTube, very heavy, giving out all kind of information, I put out my phone number and stuff on YouTube. So I just had people call me, because all I was doing was driving anyway. And so I was like, man, I could help people. And I was on the phone for over 8,000 minutes 1 month. And my wife and other people was like, man, you need to start charging. And I was like, no, I ain't gonna charge. Now I finally started charging $150 for 30 minutes. And it went down some, but people still kept calling. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, people, like, when you really giving out knowledge, when you really know the game, and I tell people, like, to be able to talk to me and to be able to have the access that I have, it's gonna save you hundreds. It's gonna save you thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going around, you're looking for a mechanic, and your truck is broke down. Okay, go over here and get Joe Blow that's gonna fix your stuff and tear up something in the process, which in turn, you're gonna have to go back to him so he can fix it. You're gonna spend more money being down, or you can just call me and I can give you a trusted mechanic and you can go on about your way. You know what I'm saying? And then you can put that mechanic in your repertoire,
Sure.
And so, having those connections, and having the network that I have, that's priceless within itself, because if I can talk to you and I can save you $10,000 within your first week, which that has happened plenty of times.
I've paid for that value. I've paid for it.
Yeah.
Times over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I took my prices up to $250 for 30 minutes. And I said, man, people ain't gonna pay this, but guess what? They did, because the knowledge is valuable. It's valuable. When you can go out there, I done had people, and I tell this story all the time. I had a guy one time that had called me, and when he called me, he asked me about the truck, asked me, hey man, you think it's a good truck? Hey man, you think this? Yeah, man, you need to get somebody to inspect it. Okay? He just went and got the truck. The dealership told him, man, this is a good truck right here, man. It's sturdy. It was all cleaned up. He had the truck for 1 week. Went up to, I think it was Pennsylvania or Ohio. Man, that truck blew up. The motor blew up in the truck. Man, he was on the side of the road, thing just smoking like he was cheeks and tongues. It was crazy. And then after that, I asked him, man, how much did it cost? It cost, he had to go to the bank and get another $30,000 to fix that. Plus he had to put some of his money into it as well.
Yeah.
He got $30,000 from the bank and still had to put about $5,000 to $6,000 in it himself. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, like, think about if you would have called me, or if you would have applied what I told you to apply, you know what I'm saying? If you would have got you somebody to do a pre-inspection buy, before you buy the truck, get somebody to do a pre-inspection on the thing, because we all know how to do a pre-trip. Look at the tires and stuff like that right there. But when they hook it up to that computer, when they take an oil sample analysis, guess what? That ain't lying. When you got flakes in your oil, that ain't lying. You're not gonna be able to see flakes in your oil.
Proof is there.
Yeah, it's there. When you hook it up to that computer, you're not gonna be able to lie for that computer. Okay, so you need somebody who can do that. And guess what? I'm the guy, because I know a guy.
I got a guy.
Yeah.
So, are there certain lanes or parts of the country that have more quality freight than others?
Man, yeah. You know this is a good question right here. I've been waiting on this the whole time. Okay. So I think the best lanes is this right here, the Midwest. Okay. The Midwest is always jumping. The Midwest is always popping. I always tell people to go places, okay? Watch me now. So go places that's gonna produce something, okay? If they're producing something, go there, okay? If they're not producing nothing, don't go there. So we all know that, it's kind of like the industrial revolution or whatever. Like the Midwest, they got all, they was building cars, they got these factories and stuff, steel mills. They got all kind of stuff in the Midwest. It's just booming. I mean, it was booming back in the day. It's still booming now because that's where the hottest freight is at. You know what I'm saying? If you look on any of the load boards or get a load projection, it's gonna let you know that, hey, look right here, in the Midwest, that's where they're producing something.
All the freight's at.
That's where all the freight is at. Now, I told somebody this the other day, and now if you go out to Nevada, what are they producing in Nevada? Nothing but sun, okay? And you can't carry sun with you, okay? What are they producing in Utah? What are they producing in Colorado? Now we all know, yeah, man, they got this right here in Las Vegas, and they got this right here in Colorado, but what are you getting out of Colorado except for Coors Light beer?
Yeah, beer.
Yeah, you're getting, that's where they produce a lot of beer in Colorado, okay? And so you want to go to the place, and don't go, like, why go to Nebraska? What's in Nebraska except corn, okay? So don't go to the places that's not producing nothing unless, okay, let me put this in here, unless, hear me now when I say this, unless you got a dedicated lane or you got a dedicated customer that you can pull for. Now, if I'm in Montana, okay, if I'm in Montana and I got somebody who said, hey man, I need a load going from Montana to North Dakota, and they got something in North Dakota coming back to Montana. I don't want to see if you can run this lane for me for this amount of money right here. Well, let me see if it lines up with my bottom line, and let me see exactly where I'm going to. And you say this lane is for how much and for how long? Oh yeah, I'm there. Somebody asked me the other day, hey Larry, I asked somebody the other day because I see that they was just behind and stuff like that with their production. I went in there and asked the front office. I said, "Hey, what is your pressure point right now? What do you need?" She said, "We're looking for drivers." And I said, "Well, you know what? I may be able to help with that because why? I know a guy." Okay, so so they were like, "Do you live in Texas?" I said, "No, I don't live in Texas. I live in Georgia." I said, "But it doesn't matter if I live in Texas or not because if I can fill this void for you, guess what? You're gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy."
Right.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? So and then for the investors, I tell people to put your truck where the money is at. Don't try to keep your truck where you at because if you're at the bottom half of Mississippi somewhere and there's nothing there's no freight right there that you wanna pull, but they got something up in Ohio going to Michigan, throw your truck up there in Ohio going to Michigan and have the thing come home whenever you want it to come home. But you put your truck wherever the freight is at. Now if you want to go lay eyes on your truck, fly up there, drive up there, or tell them to come back down here, but put your money wherever the truck is at. Put your truck wherever the money is at, so that you can make your bottom line and so that you can be profitable in your business. Okay, so the Midwest is where you want to be focusing on when you're getting freight. Okay,
right.
Now, and one of the things too is like the East Coast got freight too. But one of the things is too, you got to know your dead areas. Okay, everybody say that with me: dead zones. Okay, so you got to know your dead zone. So with knowing your dead zone, you know that Florida is a dead zone. Okay, when you take something into Florida, it's usually going to be high going in and cheap coming out. Okay, when you take something to Colorado or when you take something over there to the mountains, if you take something going from let's say Louisiana to Montana, it's gonna be high going there, but it's gonna be cheap coming out. You see what I'm saying? And so you have to take that into consideration too.
Prepare yourself for that going into it, right?
Yeah. And so they're overcompensating for knowing that I know you're not gonna be able to find a load coming out of here, so we're gonna pay you a little bit more, and you just got to know your numbers to know if it's going to work out for you or not.
So, do you buy or lease your equipment? How do you decide who offers the best deals?
Okay, so this is a question right here that has a multiplicity of answers. Okay, so when it's up to you whether you want to buy or lease your equipment. Okay, now I can go to the truck stop right now and go to every lane. If that truck stop got 10 lanes right there, where they filling up fuel, I can ask each and every one of those people, how they got their truck. One is gonna say he leased it. One is gonna say he bought it. One is gonna say I had an uncle that didn't want to drive no more. He gave me his truck. One is gonna say I did a lease purchase. One is gonna say all kinds of. It's all kind of ways that you can get into the truck industry. It's all kind of ways that you can buy your truck. What I'm gonna say is this right here. You need to devise a plan on what you need to do. And I always tell people, don't try to go and reinvent the wheel. Look at what somebody else is doing and see if that's right for you, and try to take whatever it is that they're doing and try to apply it to your life. Okay.
Reach out to those mentors.
Exactly. And so let's say this right here. Let's say we got let's say like Walmart. There's other companies out there too, but I'm just gonna say Walmart. Walmart, they don't go and buy trucks. Okay. Other people, they don't go and buy trucks. What they do is they get the trucks for 3 years and then they turn them right back in. And then you over here at the auction, or you over here at Aero Truck Sales or wherever, and you trying to buy one of them trucks. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that you can do. You can go to the auction and get you a truck. You know, it just depends on where you're going. And I always think whenever you're buying a truck, whenever you're leasing a truck, even if you're doing lease purchase, read between the lines, read the fine print. And if you don't know how to read the fine print, take it to somebody who can read the fine print. That's why I say invest into yourself. Because if I gotta pay a lawyer $500 to read over a contract, I'd rather pay that $500 than to be stuck paying for something for 7 years.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So have somebody go look at your contract if you don't know how to read it yourself. You know, also look at the warranties. Okay. And if you don't have a warranty, see if you can get an extended warranty for your truck whenever you're buying, whenever you're leasing your truck or whatever. Also, when it comes to buying or leasing a truck, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have that pre-buy inspection on there. We talked about that earlier. Have the pre-buy inspection on there. I don't care what the dealership tells you. You want to have a certified mechanic of your own, not from the dealership, of your own. Okay, and I got somebody for that too. So if you're looking for somebody to, if you're looking to buy a truck, you want to make sure that whenever you buy the truck, that you get a pre-buy inspection. Okay. Now, one of the things is this right here too. I want to add this on to it. Whenever you buy a truck, the one thing that people will tell you that you need to make some big down payment for the truck. There are different options. So just don't think that you just go over here and they say, man, you got to have $25,000 down to buy this truck. Man, what truck are you buying right now?
Right. Just because one person says it doesn't mean they're all going to say it.
Yeah. I know places. I done heard of places, man, that you ain't got to have nothing down, but your truck payment is gonna be super high every week. But guess what? You get almost like a brand new truck. As long as you able to lease on with somebody like Landstar, Mercer, Snyder, one of these people like that right there. I also heard of people that put $3,500 down, $5,000 down, $7,000, $15,000. So you want to make sure that you whenever you getting ready to buy that truck, that you look around, shop around, and see what's going to be the best option for you. Don't be so anxious to go out and get you a truck, because as you know right now, somebody asked me the other day, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Somebody asked me the other day, okay, now listen to this now, because I'm going to take you somewhere, okay? So somebody told me the other day, say, hey, Larry, I'm getting ready to buy me a truck. I looked at him and said, for what? You don't have no freight. You don't have your authority. What you gonna be hauling? Because guess what? Truck prices are through the roof right now. What you would have paid last year for a truck is $10,000 to $15,000 more for that same truck this year. Okay, so what you would have paid for a truck last year, if you would have paid $35,000 for a truck, $35,000 for a truck last year, that same truck is now $45,000 to $50,000. Okay, because trucking is booming right now. Everybody's trying to get into trucking. Okay, now he said he told me that at the end of June. I said, you know what? I'm gonna say it's the end of July. I'm gonna say it's July right now. Okay, you go out, you go buy your truck. Okay, now some people gonna say, man, you need to have at least 3 months. You need to have a month or whatever. I'm gonna say 3 months. You need to have 90 days first with your authority. Okay, unless you got a customer, most people gonna go out there and they gonna say, you know what, I got 90, I'm gonna go ahead and put them 90 days up. So you just gonna be hauling crumbs compared to what you could be hauling. Okay, so that's July, August, September. Okay, now that's 3 months already gone. Now, what are we about to go into after September? October, November, December.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a slower period, but depending on what you hauling, it could be a peak period. Okay, depending on if you're gonna be hauling Christmas goods and different things, Christmas trees, or if you're gonna get in that particular lane, you gotta find out what lane you're gonna get in first. Okay, so you're gonna get in there, and then you're gonna be hitting the winter season. Okay, January, February, March, that freight ain't booming like that. China shut down in January for a whole month, and so you need to find out exactly what you want to do. I said, so if it was up to me, if it was gonna be me, I wouldn't be buying no truck right now. I said I wouldn't be listening to people who aren't buying trucks right now, because some people gonna tell you, go ahead and buy a truck, man. Go ahead and do this right here. But they don't have the experience. They ain't never drove a truck. They ain't never had to look for a load themselves, and they don't have the connections. Now, if you got the connections, if you got the relationships to put you on and to be able to push you where you need to go, and to be able to and to be able to cover that gap up, if it's something dedicated, and they say, hey man, we got this run right here for 3 years straight. What? Say what? Go give me a truck. How many trucks you need? Let me call Joe Blow them. You see what I'm saying? Let me call Chris. Let me call Steven. Let me call Jada. Let me call Tish. Let me call Chris. Let me call all these people right here. And so, and we're going to put some trucks on that thing and start making some money. But unless you got something like that right there, it's a time and a season for everything. And just because you want to buy a truck don't mean it's the right time and the right season for you unless you have everything properly lined up like it's supposed to be. Man, I feel good right now. I feel like I'm talking right now.
So on the flip side, say I'm an owner operator looking to become part of an established fleet. Mm-hmm. I know companies like Landstar, CFI, and Werner all recruit owner operators to work exclusively for them.
Yeah.
What's the advantage of going exclusively with one company? What are the downsides?
Okay, so the advantages are this right here. When you go with a company like Landstar, okay, when you go with a company like Landstar has a whole network, okay? When you need somebody to help you with your IFTA, when you need somebody to secure all your permits and all that different stuff like that, back office stuff, guess what? That stuff is covered, okay? Now, when you need freight is there. They got the freight. I only ever heard one person talk bad about Landstar, okay? And that was the first day that I got to Landstar. That was the first day that I got to Landstar, but when people talk about, they take too much money, because they take like 35% if you're doing dry van. But with taking the 35%, they're not putting a gun to your head. They're not robbing you saying, hey, you got to give us this, or, your life and your kids depend on it. Like what? They're not making you do that, so the advantages are, it's a stepping stone, okay? It's a stepping stone from you coming from a company driver to becoming an independent owner operator, to you becoming just full out, having your own authority and different things like that. It's a great place to learn, to where you can learn how to talk to shippers, learn how to talk to receivers, learn how to talk to brokers and agents, and learn how to, you also learn how to, book loads and learn exactly where to run. You learn how to, lane match and, build that triangle to where you can be successful in wherever you're running it.
Learn the language of the industry, man.
You learn the language of the industry, okay? And now one of the disadvantages is this right here. You just have to solely just run for them. You can't be like, man, I'm gonna take off a week because they got this big contract over here and they paying bukus of money, and I'm about to go over here right quick. You ain't gonna be able to do that. The only thing you can do is just solely run for them. Also, one of the downsides is, you do have to give that 35%. But the thing is this right here: if you know how to run, and if you got those relationships, and a lot of times with Landstar loads pay so much, man, it is crazy how much them loads pay. Them loads pay so much. I need to be getting paid for this right here. But them loads get paid. Them loads pay so much. Who cares about the 35%? Because you still gonna be making big money. You know what I'm saying? And so, depending on what big money is to you, now we talking about Donald Trump. Now, if Donald Trump come up and say, you come up to Donald Trump, you say, hey man, you know, I make like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a week. He gonna look at you and be like, what? Man, that ain't no money, you know. If you talk about $400 or $500 million a week, that's a whole different story right there, you know. But
perspective.
Perspective. But coming from a company driver from making less than 1,000, sometimes a little bit more than 1,000, to going to making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a week, sometimes $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. I'm talking about net income, what you put in your pocket, and you decide how much you want to put back into your maintenance and everything like that. But coming from that to making that type of money, man, like, who mad about that? You know.
It actually brings me to my last question. You know, what should I think about if I'm deciding to become an employee driver, not owning my truck, but actually working for a fleet as an employee driver? You know, pay does seem to be going up, and there are big signing bonuses to be had right now. I know I've talked to a few companies myself where, you know, they're hungry for drivers. Like you said, the industry is booming. They're hungry for it. So, you know, what should be the thoughts that I should have if I'm thinking about becoming an employee driver for a company?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that, because that also is an amazing question. Okay, now with becoming, a lot of people don't want their own rig. A lot of people don't want their own business. A lot of people just want to drive, and they want somebody else to take care of the maintenance, the repairs. They want somebody else to find a load for them, which is fine. But if you want to be that right there, guess what I would do? I would be arming myself with industry knowledge, with industry relationships, because guess what? It only takes one step for you to go from one spot to go to the next spot, especially when you're armed with a lot of relationships, and you can it's like a turnkey, you know? Right. And so I tell people, when you're actually one of the most powerful people in the company, and you don't even realize it. I'm gonna say that again. When you're an employee, you're actually one of the most powerful people in the company, and you do not realize it, okay? Now listen, when you're a company driver, you can drive that truck, and once you drive the truck, guess what? When you get out for shippers, when you get out for receivers, guess what? On your bill of lading is all the information that you need to be able to build that contact. Now, if you take 5 loads a week to 5 different places, guess how many contacts you got? Now you have 10, because you got a shipper and a receiver. Okay, you got their information, and so now you can call them, say, hey, look, and you can make yourself familiar with front office, with HR, with the dock workers, with the heister drivers, forklift drivers. Make yourself knowledgeable of who they are, and put yourself in their face so they'll know who you are. Because it's cool. Somebody told me a long time ago, it's cool for you to know all these people, but do these people know you? Okay, right. And so you need to make sure that they know you, okay? I don't care if you're a company driver or owner operator. You know, I always tell people one of the things, like, it's rare that you have to wait for oil changes and different things like that right there, because it's amazing what $40 can do. It's amazing what $40 can do. And when you need an oil change, or when you need to go to hurry up and get in there and get out. Hey man, can you unload me? No man, I'm finna go to lunch. Boy, I got $40 right here if you can make it happen. Well, you know what? I can fast. You know,
it's funny you say that. I think back to my early days in the industry. You know, in one of my first experiences, we had a company driver. He used to tell me, he's like, Russell, every shipper or receiver I go to, I make sure I have a carton of cigarettes, and I've got Domino's on speed dial, because if I really need to get loaded, either I'm passing cigarettes out to people to smoke, or I'm buying them pizza. I'm buying them pizza for lunch. Like, look, I'll buy your lunch, I'll buy your dinner. Yeah, can you help me get unloaded? You know, developing those relationships goes a long way. Yeah, and make sure that you keep every one of your contacts. Make sure that you keep every one of your, because it's some of these people, man, I've done recruited so many people from the TA. So many people from the TA. Even when I was a company driver, when I was an owner operator,
all my time while I've been driving, I kept a lot of the contacts. Okay, I know who went out there and actually tried to fix something, and I know who went out there and said, you know what, I can't do it. I know the lazy from the people who really try to get it done. You keep the real people phone number. Okay,
Yeah.
hey man, man, if I get your sale, because usually those people who work at the TA, they do some stuff at the side on the side too. The people who work for the people who like the freight liners and different people like that right there, they got a shop, a little small shop, and do something on the side at their house. You see what I'm saying? You keep their information so that, hey, look, when you got a breakdown or when you got something that happens, guess what? I'm trying to build my portfolio right now to where I got somebody in every state and in every region of every state. And so what you can do is you can actually put you up like a map or something like that right there when it comes to maintenance, when it comes to breakdowns and stuff. Right. You can put those pins in there and you can have a pin and write the thing down or whatever. Say, hey, look, if I'm in, I don't know, if I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan, you know, and I got a breakdown, I know to call Russell. You know, if I got a breakdown over here in Talladega, Alabama, there's a lady over there named Brittany who will fix your truck for you, and she knows what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? And she's actually that's actually a true story because it's a lady over there.
Brittany takes care of you.
Yeah, she takes care of. She know what she's doing. She works at the TA. I don't want to give too much information. But anyway, that girl right, well, she's a lady. That lady right there, she knows what she's doing, and she gonna take care of your truck like it's her truck. You see what I'm saying? And some of these people used to work on. They used to drive trucks, and they don't stop driving trucks. Now they work on trucks and different things like that. And so while you're a company driver, make sure that you build every relationship you can. Make sure that you're getting traffic and transportation information, the traffic manager information, the transportation manager information. Make sure you get HR information, the whoever you need to talk to, because all you got to do is go in there and say, hey, who do I need to talk to be able to fulfill y'all freight needs? You know, they'll be like, oh yeah, you need to talk to Jenny. Okay. And then Jenny comes up, hey, Jenny, I've been looking for you. Hey, do I know you? No, you don't, but you about to, you know. You know. And so me, I everywhere I go, I make a lasting impression. I don't care if I'm at the airport. It doesn't matter if I just came from the airport last night. I was in South Dakota at a crusade, and while I'm there, I'm making connections. I go everything I do is business. You know, it's either business for me or business for the Lord. You know, and so everywhere I go, I'm making a sale. Everywhere I go, you're gonna know me. You know, or you're gonna know Jesus. So
I have a feeling that is the truth, Larry. I have a feeling that's the truth, man.
Yeah.
Larry, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. I've absolutely enjoyed our time together.
Yeah.
How can we help the audience connect with you?
Okay, great. I'm glad you asked that. Hey, how many TikTok fans we got out there? Come on and put your hands up now. Come on now. If you're a TikTok fan, I want you to go to I Am Larry Cothran. That's I Am LARRYCOTHRAN. Look at me on TikTok. I got some funny videos out there, and I got some informative videos as well. I want you to check me out on TikTok. Also, you can check out the same thing, the same username. I Am Larry Cothran. I Am LARRYCOTHRAN. I am Larry Cothran. That's how the doctor's office said. Larry Cothran, Larry Cothran. Please come to the office. Yeah. So you can look me up on Instagram like that. Also, some of you on here, you know me from YouTube. What's going on? It's your boy L Boogie. So if you want to look me up on YouTube, just type in L Boogie, and you're gonna see my YouTube channel come up. I'm trying to get to like 1 million followers, man. I'm trying to get to 1 million followers everywhere. So you know. So make sure y'all go follow me. And until next time, man, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure. And remember, man, I'm blessing the Lord, highly favored, excited about Jesus, excited about the word of God. My cup is running over, and I still want some more. How about you?
Thanks, Larry. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you have someone in mind who you'd like to see us interview on Trucker Tools Talks, or if you have any questions, please use the comment box and let us know. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Prove it.